Should you buy the new Club de Nuit Lionheart Man? Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? My name is Nuit. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new Club de Nuit Lionheart. And the Club de Nuit series from Armaf is epic enough for me to make this video. Just talking about the single fragrance. I haven't done a single fragrance review in so long. It's actually kind of weird.
It's been so long.
But this does carry on a legacy, a pretty big legacy, and who doesn't know Club de Nuit? So how does it stack up? Is it anything like the original? And we're talking about the Intense Man. We have the EDT, EDP, the Parfum, and also the Extrait version is coming out very soon. So there's a Club de Nuit Intense Man Extrait coming out. So to answer that first question, no. It has absolutely nothing to do with the original Club de Nuit. But we've seen that quite a few times. In fact, with Sillage, with Milestone, we've even seen that with the Oud, which doesn't really have much oud. This one was released in October, or the pre-release, I should say, was unveiled in the October event in Dubai. And that event is where I first got my nose on Lionheart. So the fragrance itself has this lavender, a little bit of mint. It's got that tonka bean, a lot of this honey combination as well. Something that's bold, that's masculine, but also very easily wearable. This is a dupe of Male Elixir. It's very clear cut, straightforward, and to the point. It's not anything to do with Aventus, no pineapple, no citrus freshness, and Male Elixir itself is not intended to be a citrus fresh fragrance. With that being said, if you haven't smelled either fragrances, Male Elixir or this one, it's a more mainstream, sweet, youthful, but also masculine style of scent. It's something that you can wear as a signature scent during the winter time, and that's pretty much it. Well, I would say winter and fall time, during the cooler weather, if you will. And so one of the most popular releases was that Male Elixir. So raunchy honey, also having that captive and obviously spawning a bunch of dupes. So with that being said, Male Elixir, how does it stack up in comparison to a lot of those other fragrances? The first point I want to point out is going to be the presentation. As you guys can see, it does carry on that same exact Club de Nuit. It has that weird cube looking cap. It's become their thing, so I like it. Except this one has like an alligator skin.
Do alligators alligate?
Sharp edges, it's very decent size, or decent, I should say, weight, and it still has those studs around it. The finish has like this very nice matte style finish, a couple of ridges underneath that line, and the tassel has a very embossed, clearly embossed Armaf with a line on it, so hence the name Lionheart. Concentration is an eau de parfum, and as you guys can see, the design itself has a bit of grain. Now, first thing that I want to address is how close is it actually to Male Elixir? I mean, it's pretty close, it's really good, but none of them are actually going to capture the exact Male Elixir, and I'll tell you guys why. With JPG, like with many other niche houses or designer houses, they might have this proprietary blend, hence the captive that I mentioned earlier. It's usually a specific formula that's used in combination to recreate a note. JPG is notoriously known to do this with their tonka bean. So whatever they use to recreate the note of tonka bean is their captive, if you will. And it's basically their trademark. It's their specific recipe, just like any chef wouldn't share their secret ingredient. It's their secret ingredient, and it's the reason why nothing will truly ever be exactly like that. And for the most part, most dupes aren't. With that being said, I still really enjoyed the wear of this fragrance. The fragrance itself actually gets pretty damn close. I would say that it is a little bit more diffusive. It's less as ambery, if you will, in the richness of the honey and in that tonka bean. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, it definitely smells like Male Elixir. It's pretty damn high quality. And even from Armaf, to come from, you know, the comparisons of their older fragrances, it's come a long way. It's not nearly as alcoholic or as synthetic as a lot of their prior releases, and including the Club de Nuit. I mean, they've come a long way, you guys. And even with their newer releases, it's just, they're blowing their own old stuff out of the water. And that's what I like to see. A lot of these brands are starting to increase their quality. You know, they've made a pretty impactful wave. We've made a pretty impactful wave. I'd like to say that I made a pretty impactful wave in these Middle Eastern fragrances, and they've really utilized all their resources and their monetary gains and the money they've made into actually putting quality back into their products. And it makes me honestly happy to see and smell their new fragrances and actually be able to sense that. And you could absolutely sense that. So if you've gotten a lot of Armaf fragrances in the past, maybe about 2 years ago or something, the level of juice increase in terms of the quality is very evident. It's very, very easy to detect. The opening of the fragrance is pretty high quality, virtually no alcohol. I mean, obviously it's not going to be a perfect bottle. Every bottle, I can't guarantee it, but for mine, it was juice right off the top. And the fact that it was a little bit lighter made this one easier to wear to the gym. Although that is the case, the fragrance itself is not the best scent to wear to the gym. And I've learned that the hard way because I've been wearing Male Elixir pretty frequently for the last week. So I am working on a clone war, and this has to be one of the better experiences that I had because of that, because of the fact that it didn't wear suffocating. And some of them actually started to stink when I wore it at the gym, like just go off.
I stink, you stink. It's showbiz, everybody stinks.
And it was very strictly because of, it just doesn't do that well when you start sweating. Even Le Male Elixir itself, I don't recommend that scent for the gym time. But if you're looking for a budget fragrance that does something that's, you know, sexy, that's youthful, that's also modern and classic at the same time, you should definitely check out Lionheart. It smells like Le Male Elixir. I mean, to the average nose, they're not really gonna detect much of the differences. To me, I'll tell you right now, obviously it's not going to be exactly, and mostly because of that captive that we discussed earlier. But aside from that, value, bang for buck. I saw this going at like Best Brand Perfumes. Check out all these websites like Triple Traders, Oud Store, even Best Brand Perfumes you can save by using code AROMATIX. And Joma Shop also offers in-application coupons to save some extra dough, and where you can also pick up my fragrances. But back to Club de Nuit Lionheart. It's a great fragrance. One of the best Le Male Elixir inspirations. There's a lot, you guys. There's about 6 or 7 now. But in terms of the quality, I get a lot of this lavender and mint that some of the other ones don't get. And it's very specifically going to be that. The mint in this one does pop off a little bit more so. Even in comparison to some of the other brands like Lattafa, etc., they have subtle differences that might even include, I don't know, I get a little bit more lavender in one. This one I get a little bit more citrus. But with this one, it's one of the truer ones, emphasizing just a little bit on the mint, and it's very likely because of the fact that it's not as ambery in the tonka. Long story short, if you like Le Male Elixir, you're going to love this one. It projects, it lasts, and even in its projection, it's not suffocating. I wore this, it gave me a good 8 to 8.5 hours. I wouldn't say too much more than that, but it projected for a good 3 hours. Even 5 hours later, I could smell it very easily on my clothing. If you're gonna spray this one, make sure to spray it on clothing and on skin, like with every other fragrance. I sprayed it on about, I would say, 7 to 8 times, and even then it was still pretty damn strong. I kind of wish I didn't wear it to the gym or even wear it that many times to the gym. So all in all, Lionheart, it's amazing for the price. It's like a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. Let's just call it a solid 9. One of the best Le Male Elixirs. If you want to find out which dupe is the best one, stay tuned for that Clone War. And so that wraps up my review on Armaf Club de Nuit Lionheart, man. Completely different from Club de Nuit Intense, man. A great smelling fragrance, miles above in quality in comparison to a lot of the Club de Nuits. I highly encourage you guys to try this one if you've tried some of their older Club de Nuits, if you just want to get an idea for where their quality has come. And overall, 9 to a 9.5, let's say a 9.25, and I definitely think it's worthy of the pickup. If you're still debating on one and you're looking at Lionheart, I say pull the trigger, man. It's really, really good. And there you have it, my full review on Armaf Club de Nuit Lionheart, man. Let me know down in the comment section if you have this, if you've been considering it, and what you guys think about Le Male Elixir in general. I think that it was a good JPG fragrance. It's now kind of become like an overly worn. If you're in the fragrance community, it's talked about a lot. It still smells really good. I wouldn't recommend it to the gym. I think it's really good. I would say top 3 of JPGs. My name's Nuit. Thank you for tuning back into AROMATIX, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.